Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special one here for you tonight. I hope you'll enjoy this. That's right. This is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, way back in the early 80s. That's right. Where Bobby Heenan, he told the fans, he told the people, I'm trying to tune it in here nice and close for you now. You got to remember, these tapes are 20 years old now, 30 years old, and we're trying to dub them over the best we can. The deal is, as Bobby Heenan said, that he would beat rock and roll Buck ZumHofe in 10 minutes. Now remember, Buck ZumHofe doesn't have to beat Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan has to beat Buck ZumHofe. That's right. So in other words, I just have to run around for 10 minutes. There you go. So slapping him in the face, making a fool out of him. Now you got to remember now, this is back in the day of all-star wrestling with approximately 35,000 people here at the Winnipeg Arena in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And now, like I said before, the idea is now Bobby Heenan, he realizes that he cannot be running around outside the ring. He can't be screwing around wasting time because he only has a 10-minute match. So the whole thing at this time, it's all in my favor. I have to stay away from him. Obviously, if he gets a hold of me, he will try and beat me down. He will try and pin me in the 10-minute mark so he doesn't have to don the Weasle suit. Well, obviously, you're going to see what happens here. This is great memories, I'll tell you. I had some of my best and biggest fans in Winnipeg. Even today, the middle of March, and 20, 30 years later, I still get calls on the internet, letters and phone calls and email, saying, hey, rock and roll, how's it going? Hey, rock and roll, I heard about R&R Wrestling, and we're proud of you that you've run R&R Wrestling all these years and always stayed in the professional wrestling business. And I sure appreciate all the fans that still keep in touch with rock and roll. But anyway, as you can see here now, we're kind of bringing down the pace. I'm just more or less wrestling, dancing, and staying away from Bobby Heenan. But, I figure now if I can get him wore down and get him taken down, maybe I can beat him in 5 or 6 minutes. Well, then the match would be over, and I would still win the match. He'd still have to wear the Weasle suit. No, boy, oh boy, there's nobody, I don't think anybody today yet that still does that backdrop where I spin myself all the way over and land on my feet. Look at that, pulling Bobby Heenan in. He's not going to come in. Oh, another drop. Owie. Not only the drop kick, but he takes it wasn't necessary for me to go up on the top rope with the Buck ZumHofe splash. I said the Buck ZumHofe splash, not the Vader splash. I had the Buck ZumHofe splash way before the Vader even became a wrestler. I think it's funny to me that he actually gets on wrestling and calls it the Vader splash, and everybody has 2 cents with the brains and follows professional wrestling knows that rock and roll Buck ZumHofe did the Buck ZumHofe splash years and years before. It's actually kind of comical, that deal where Hulk Hogan puts his hand up behind his ear to entice the people to chant Hulk Hogan louder. I did that thing behind my ear 3-4 years before Hulk Hogan was even a wrestler. So it's kind of comical to me that I see a lot of this stuff. But then again, we stole a lot of stuff from the other wrestlers. The leg drop business, I learned that from Billy Robinson. I like to throw my drop kicks, or I used to. When I did throw drop kicks, I'd throw a drop kick kind of like Jimmy Snuka or Jimmy Brunzell. We've all had, heroes and people that we admire and that we kind of steal their moves, I suppose. That deal where you put the headlock on, you run up the second and third turnbuckle and then take them over, take them down. Ray Stevens, Pat Patterson, all the stars from the old days of wrestling done that. I stole that move a long time ago. Owie! Ooh, that had a smart right in the middle of Bobby Heenan's back. Sorry about that. But anyway, like I said earlier, this is a big crowd. This is a big house. There's, ouch. There's really, all I got to do is stay alive. And then, Bobby Heenan busted my radio and all of that, too. So there's some animosity here. I figure, hey, if I can get a little shot in here and there, that's fine. Whoops. You can't take nothing away from Bobby Heenan. He's been in this business forever. It's amazing to me when I go back and I watch old Dick the Bruiser wrestling tapes out of Chicago. Heck, Bobby Heenan can't be 17 years old, and he's already part of the business. I have him on a tape where he's wrestling as a young fellow, and I don't think I'm wrestling yet. He's actually involved with a midget, Jack Lanza, and Jack Mulligan on one side, and then Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher, and a little midget, Dick the Bruiser midget or something like that. It's a real classic, a real great match. But I remember now that has to be, a few years before I started wrestling. So obviously Bobby Heenan, bless his soul, still makes appearances. Still, you see him in and out of the business today yet. What a great name. What a great man in our sport. What a great guy, period. I've known Bobby Heenan for a number of years. We had lots, and I bet I wrestled him 200 times in the early 80s. I'm talking 200 times every year. I probably wrestled him 200 times in 1980, 81, 82, 83. And then, of course, in 84, I took the jaunt down to Texas and ended up with the Iceman King Parsons as the Texas Tag Team Champions. A lot of people remember that. But here we go. And as a matter of fact, I am going to turn up the volume, and you'll be able to hear Gene Okerlund pick it up as we go along now. We're going to pick it up.
That's quite obvious from the reaction of the crowd. 4 minutes remaining. 4 minutes to go. Oh, there's Heenan up on that second rope. Oh, my word. First of all, two count. Heenan got ZumHofe coming off that second rope with a devastating right to the forehead. Then he came down on him off that second rope, and now look at rock and roll ZumHofe go to work on Bobby Heenan. How close can you get? There's a shot. I believe that hit him in the throat. Heenan getting around behind ZumHofe and a double sledge to the side of the head. And ZumHofe drops. There's a kick out. 3 minutes remaining. Only 3 minutes to go. A pick up by Heenan. And the atomic drop and all. Did that do a job on ZumHofe? A 2 count. I wanted a double check with referee Joe Perino. Now all of a sudden, the rock and roller reverses the tables, and there's an atomic drop on Bobby Heenan. Another 2 count. Boy, is this one close. Should be an interesting 2.5 minutes. Pick up by ZumHofe, body slam. Heenan down to the mat. The rock and roller with an elbow drop to the upper chest. And again, Buck ZumHofe connects on Bobby Heenan. And another 2 count. There are 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes to go. Whipped into the ropes, and a double slash, and absolutely pulverizes rock and roll ZumHofe. A 2 count. Now ZumHofe comes back. This crowd really starting to get into it. Many on their feet. Heenan with a whip. Well, rock and roll ZumHofe came off the ropes. He was fine. Well, Heenan with a flying body drop, but Heenan had that double sledge set up for him. Oh, he missed. Oh, my word, did you see that? Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. One remaining. 1 minute to go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Well, I'll tell you what, ZumHofe really took it. But he ducked him on those ropes. That was something. There's a knee to the midsection. Only a 2 count. Only a 2 count. Can't believe it. Now 30 seconds remaining. 30 seconds to go. Another kick out. 20 seconds remaining. Oh my word, Heenan really came up with some kind of a move there. 2. Another kick out. 10 seconds remaining. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Explaining to Heenan, he did not beat ZumHofe in the allotted 10 minutes. And he must wear the Weasle suit. I can't help but think there might be a threat of suspension. Comes into play. Carbo really giving Heenan no alternative. Carbo, come on over. Being congratulated. ZumHofe being congratulated by Wally Carbo. Wally, come on in front of a microphone. You said he either puts on the Weasle suit or he would not be in Bockwinkel's corner, and secondly, that he would be suspended.
You're correct, Gene. He has to do it or he's all through here.
Well, he's got one leg going so far. It's got to be very humiliating, no doubt about that.
What did he ask for, Gene? If you remember, he said if he couldn't beat Buck ZumHofe, he put on the
ridiculous, really. All right. Thank you, Wally Carbo.
I'm telling you, just like yesterday, my gosh, it's almost funny. I started laughing here again. You know, I've got lots and lots and lots. I've got hundreds of wrestling matches from the AWA and God knows from all over, and I usually don't dig them out like I used to, but I sure want to thank, you got to remember this is an old tape, and so it's still. But there you can see Bobby Heenan, now he's tearing off the suit, and the camera got a little fuzzy on us here, but this is it. Bobby Heenan, the Weasle suit, way before anybody else ever thought about doing the Weasle suit. Buck Rock and Roll ZumHofe, one of the first. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will have a few words about this in a little bit. Thank you.